I'm Terrence Croft. I'm a full-time mediator and arbitrator at JAMS. JAMS is the largest private provider of ADR services in the entire world. I've mediated more than 3,000 cases. I've been selected annually as a Georgia super lawyer and as one of the best lawyers in America in ADR for the last decade. I want to share a few of my ideas with you about preparing for mediation. Obviously, in the first place, you have to select the right mediator. You need somebody you know, you need somebody you like, that you trust, particularly to keep your confidences, and someone whose professional abilities you respect. But most of all, you need someone that the other side will listen to. After all, if they would have listened to you, you'd already have the case settled. I think it's important that you pick someone who is not too busy to prepare for your case, someone who will read your mediation statement, who is willing to have a pre-hearing telephone caucus with you. I recommend that you do prepare a detailed mediation statement, maybe two. One of them to send to the other side and one of them to send to the mediator, and they don't have to be the same. You want to make sure that you send your mediation statement early enough that the other side, and that includes the decision makers on the other side, have a chance to review and consider your positions well in advance of the mediation. It does very little good to send them something the night before. Of course, you need to know your case as well as you would as if you were going to trial. You need to consider the use of demonstrative evidence to help teach and inform the mediator and the other side about the important facts of your case. Bringing positive prints of x-rays showing hardware from surgery, or bringing extra pieces of that hardware to put on the table, helps show how prepared you are to present your case in court. Another important point over which there seems to be a great deal of discussion today is whether the parties should engage in a joint or plenary session at the beginning of the mediation. They say, we don't wish to inflame the other side. Well, you shouldn't give an opening statement as you would to a jury or a closing argument that is likely to be inflammatory when you're trying to persuade the opposite party how prepared you are and why you have a good case. Mediation advocacy is a very special art. It is not the same thing as trial advocacy, but it is an opportunity for you sitting down in a pleasant manner to persuade the decision maker on the other side of the merits of your side of the case. That's different from hammering on the opposing party or their witnesses. One of the things you might consider if you're defending or if your client is accused of some wrongdoing is whether or not an apology is a good idea and would be helpful. I'll tell you this because I've seen it too often. An insincere apology, or one by the wrong person, does more harm than good. And if what you're going to say is, well, I'm really sorry your child got killed, but having said that, let's talk about why you're going to lose your case, that would be better off left at home. But there are times when a plaintiff who has gone years from the date of the injury has never heard anyone take the responsibility or say they were sorry. Another technique that you might consider during the negotiations is the use of brackets, where one side says, I'll go to here if and only if you, the other side, will go to here. That is a conditional offer that helps get the parties from astronomical differences apart down to something that's more sensible. It shows each side what the other side's range is, and sometimes it helps produce improved negotiations. I hope this has been of help to you. I'm glad I had a chance to talk with you. If I can be of assistance to you in a mediation or arbitration or as a special master, please call JAMS and ask for me. I would be delighted to assist you in a case.